Suzie, you got this amazing didgeridoo here.
Yes.
Can you describe it?
Well, it's called a Carnex.
Carnex.
And it's an ancient 2,000-year-old instrument. In use 2,000 years ago. This is not one of those 2,000-year-old ones. It's a replica. None of them survived. There isn't really a whole one in survival mode from that long ago. Most of them were buried during any type of any time where the enemy might try to take it from the tribe. They buried it really quick from the clan.
What culture is this you're talking, Suzie?
Celtic.
Celtic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And you play it much like a didgeridoo, but doesn't sound exactly the same way. It's more, there's a lot more droning, and the tempo is slower, and they were used for ritual purposes. And recently, the Gundenstrup cauldron was unearthed, and that's a big silver cauldron, and depicted around the cauldron is in high relief repoussé, depicting a religious ceremony from the ancient Celts, showing Carnunos, and this is named after Carnunos, and Carnunos is the original horned god. His deity was a protector of all wild things, and so most of these are made depicting a wild animal, like what would be found in their region: bears, wild boars, so on and so forth. And the word Carnunos and Carnex also have something to do with the word carnivore. So
maybe carnivore.
Yes, yes. And they used them for in battle. They used them for to make announcements, like the Celts took care of guarding the salt routes. Salt was very important. It was thought of as white gold, crucial to survival, you know, salting meats prior to refrigeration and all that. So they built big hill forts along the salt routes, and they could use these instruments to communicate with each other from hill fort to hill fort. They can make a loud trumpet sound. Maybe they might make 3 sounds for friendly coming, or they might make 4 cries for foe coming, or
a fart sound if they need the toilet.
That's true. No. So, and they used
Tom, you're a great. Tim, you're a great audience, by the way. Okay.
They used them in ritual purposes, as depicted on the cauldron. Carnunos is there showing the Carnex with his warriors and marching through the underground, and then coming out to a large demigod, being baptized by the demigod, and then coming back out as a new warrior, revived somehow, either by sound or baptismal or whatever, somehow revived. Scholars don't really know exactly what the imagery depicts, but they do know it depicts a religious ceremony. They're thought to be a sacred instrument for a number of reasons. Number one, because of the imagery found on the cauldron. Number two, because they're made out of brass or bronze, and in those days the Romans were in control of metals, and you would have had to be moneyed or have connections or whatever to get enough metal from them to construct it. In the day, it was thought of as artistry. You know, some of the finest metalsmiths were employed to bang out this type of artistry. This one is handmade by a metalsmith in Russia, and there's not too many of them. You know, you're not going to go into Walmart and buy one, that's for sure. And they're just fairly new instrument, fairly newly being made since 2021, I think. That they had found enough in this hoard, you know. So that's another reason why they were considered a sacred instrument, was because they buried them. They didn't want any enemies to get them. They were very valuable to them. They were considered very sacred and valuable. Luckily, they buried them, and they found enough in this hoard to puzzle all the pieces together to be able to reconstruct one as it should be. So there's bear heads, and there's different, you know. Different,
well, that looks like a dragon head to me.
it does sort of look like a dragon, but it is actually a sort of a stylized boar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tim left us. Tim left us.
Yeah, somebody came along and drug him off.
Oh, that's too bad, Susie.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
could you give us a little example of maybe the sound of the
sure.
carnix?
The carnix. Yeah.
Carnix. It's got a long neck and it can fit in a car.
It breaks down, yeah.
Okay. And it's a sacred instrument, and Susie's going to play. Suzie from Tallahassee, who's a wonderful soul and human being, that's got a Paralounge set up out here with gongs and this amazing tent. And Paralounge is definitely happy to have you here, Suzie. So here we go. We're going to hear the sound of the carnix. Hey guys, you want to hear the sound of the carnix? Yeah. Come here. Got more audience, more audience. Here we go. Suzzie Nellis on the carnix, ladies and
When
gentlemen.
they were, you know, making an announcement, they might have done just 3 maybe blows.
Here we go.
That might have meant the foe is coming or something, you know.
Nice. So kind of you to
Complainers
demonstrate.
will be sacrificed to the old gods.
Thank you, Susie.
I'm learning.
Susie playing the carnix, everyone. Give her a nice round.
Tolls, it's the hardest instrument in the world to play. So
Very kind of Tibetan. It's a Buddhist. Tibetan in a way.
seems a little bit.
But I love it. Will you let me try it someday?
Someday maybe.
Try to blow it. Okay, thank you. Susie, you're an angel.